Hey folks, so been working the last couple of days, not on the truck but at work. So a couple things. A couple of y'all have noted that the volume on the videos and the channel are a little bit low sound. So you're having to turn all your volumes up just to hear me speak, I guess. So I did buy an upgrade to the GoPro. There's a mod for it for the Hero 9 that adds an external microphone. So maybe in the comments just give me a 5x5 that the volume's better than previously. That would be cool. Thanks for all the subscribers as well. Looks like we're on our way to 1,000, so that'll be kind of neat. Anyway, I have been getting up early before work and spending about the last couple of days probably combined total 3 hours before running out the door to go to work. And let me show you what I have gotten into and see what your thoughts are on it. I think we're on the right track. Excuse the duct tape, but that's how we design in space, I guess. But here's the header from the driver's side now. I've got two of the pipes, and you can see that it's so hot here that the glue's actually melted off the tape, so we'll have to clean that up now. But yeah, so let me move that out of the way. So I've got let me see, get these pipes lined up. I haven't welded them into the header yet. There you go. Because I'm afraid I'm not being able to move this out. But that's basically where it's going to go. Should look pretty similar to the other side. And I'll have two more pipes to basically weld in. Yeah, so I think we're on the right path right there. Yep, so we'll leave that, and that'll drop here. And then again, that pipe is going to do, a turn like this. And then the only issue, so on this side, the snail, is basically a P on this side. And because these aren't mirrored turbos, if I do a P right about the same exit point, the turbo will physically be more outboard. So the game will be to still come out on this side, but I'll have to actually make a turn right before it goes into the hot side to accommodate the non-mirrored turbo and still have the turbo basically facing the same way. So that's the name of the game. And then yeah, and then what I needed to do was cut the end of the V-band clamp off the other turbo header so I can reuse it. So let me show you that. Okay, so here's the pipe. One of the pipes I have left over from the other side, and I made a angle cut on this one to make the fit work on the other one, and it just so happens, again, I'm getting pretty lucky. When I went to go cut this one, it was off an angle just a little bit, and I was like, well, crap, I'm gonna have to make this more straight. Well, it turns out that the angle that I had left in this pipe actually works out. Let me find my mark. Here it is. I think I went ahead and already marked this once. Let me find the mark, but anyway, maybe I just wiped it off. Anyway, the angle actually works out that it's straight. So again, better lucky than good. You're not going to see this upslope at all with the turbo sitting in an angle anyway. It's going to be on, basically you'd have to look at it from the bottom up. More functional here than anything else. So the next task will be to TIG this up, get this nice and clean. Cleanliness is the name of the game when welding this stuff. So yeah, I'll get that all TIGged up, and I need to take a look at how much of this length I actually need as well. I will make a nice straight cut there, trying to save cuts. You know, this stuff is fun to cut, stainless. But let me go show you what it's going to look like on the truck, I think. Again, trying to do this conceptually in the air. All this stuff is heavy. You know, I'm doing it by myself with, you know, only two hands. So let's take a look at it on the truck. Okay, so basically this tube is going to come out this direction, not this orientation, but about that distance. And we're going to have, and the only reason it's facing back is to accommodate this bottom turn that's going to accommodate the actual header pipe. And then at that point, I'll need to rotate this the pipe to accommodate the lack of a mirrored turbo. So I actually have to set the intake, the hot side into the turbo more inbound, so when the snail comes around, the turbo is physically in the same spot as the other side. Complicating the matters is as I raise and lower this pipe, it's going to also change the distance in and out from the hot side. So I'm going to do this in a couple steps. And the first step is that I've got to, I'm going to have to slice a section out of here anyway to make up for the bellows, which will help in the fact that I need to spin this 90 degrees anyway. So I'll lop it off, you know, about the same distance from the turn as I did on the other side. That'll establish the minimum baseline for the height of this pipe. And then after that's a fixed point. Now once I've accomplished that, then I can play the game on where this pipe needs to go as far as height. It's pretty close, ironically enough, in the length that I have it right now. The question I have will be if it's like right now, if I put it in, it might be a little too high and too far inboard. If I lower it to get the right height, then I still need to shorten this to get it closer, which means I'll have to raise it back up. So it's going to be I'm going to sneak up on it, all to say. And I have another one of these pipes just in case. It's, you know, hopefully I don't need to buy a third one, right? So we'll go slow and incrementally update this. So the first thing, like I said, we'll put this in the new chop saw, the nice V-band clamp, or V-band circular saw, and we'll go ahead and cut that off. Speaking of V-band clamps, because that was on my mind, let me show you what else I got today. So we'll set that on the motor for right now. Stand by. Okay, and then the other thing I got, I think it was last night. So I got 4 of these V-band clamps for the 2.5 inch pipe. So if you look real close at this, and get this in the camera, so that the 2 inch pipe goes into, actually recessed into the V-band clamp, which is nice. So then it's much easier to TIG, and you get a nice good seal. You can burn down on this material and just a little bit of filler, and then just get the puddle moving around. But then there's this raised section which is 1 inch wide, which is added length when you add this piece back in. So the way I'm going to address my fit issue, I wouldn't even say it's a fit issue, but the fitment here, well, 2 things. One, I want to get this pipe a little bit shorter to help me get it out of the car easier, or truck. It looks like I'm still uncertain if I can pull this header out with the motor actually in the car. Hopefully it's just a matter of lifting the engine up, take the intake off, which has got to come off anyway, and then pull the engine up in the air, pull the motor mounts out, and then pull the headers off. So anything I can do to reduce this length, I'm going to do. So I will be taking all of that 1 inch from this side of the pipe. So that should not move this positioning at all. I'll do everything on this side. And then I'll just tack weld to this. My Cerakote stuff should be here on Saturday, so by Sunday morning, if you hear the loud yell through the internet, that's me saying I need to pull the engine completely out of the car to get this pipe out. So actually, I'll know that Saturday afternoon when this pipe comes out. So stand by for that excitement. Anyway, so that's where we are right now. I'll go ahead and start cutting on the pipe, and I'll try and do maybe some time-lapse video on that so you can see all of that. I think there was a couple people wanted to see me weld. I'll be honest with you, I'm not the fanciest welder. I just barely can TIG. I can MIG. TIG is still a work in progress. Try and stay away from aluminum with the TIG gun. That's a spool gun for me. Still working on that piece. I know my buddy keeps wanting to chain me down to the work desk and get me to start TIGging. So anyway, I have a nice TIG machine. It's just I haven't picked up that knack. I'm close, just enough to be dangerous. My MIG welds are much nicer. Anyway, this is the new saw. Definitely like it. Works pretty good, I tell you. Let's see, it's never heard of it. It was one of the cheaper ones, Vevor bandsaw. The saw itself is good. The actual clamping, it's let me down a couple times. I'm gonna probably end up doing something different there. It's launched the launched the material out of the device a couple times. So we'll probably work on something different, and I'd like to get one that has like a chain that goes over to hold the material down in there, so if it does snag, it doesn't end up in your face. Anyway, yep, stand by. I'll do some try and do some time lapse, and we'll see how things go. All right, well, I measured out the pipe. It was right around 7 inches. That's where the bellows is on the other one. So let's go ahead and put this up into the machine and see how it does. Get the dude. Was it measure 3 times and cut once? Cut 2 times and it's still too short. And you know what? Nobody's ever going to see this except I'll know that if it's off, it could run perfect and it'll still be in the back of my mind that one pipe's off just a little bit. Alright, let's try that. Need to plug in your power tools, so stand by. Okay, now that it's plugged in, now the tool should actually work. So one more deal, make sure it's nice and tight. Here we go. There you go. Nice cut. Nice thing about doing it with this blade is there's no contaminants. I didn't add any contaminants in here with the blade, and it's a pretty good cut overall. I mean, it's about as not laser straight as you would like. It's probably going to have a little bit of a gap, but it should work. Happy with that, and we'll take the rest of this pipe now, and this pipe here will be the beginning of getting the turbo mounted. So if you recall, there's a slight bit of a, it's not cut perfect, but I've got it marked so that I can line everything up with that other piece. So I'll get that tack welded, and then knowing that I'm going to have to make a cut in here somewhere to change this length, I'll I'll get working on that, and then we'll have an opportunity to cut on this one more time, because basically what I've done is I've cut this pipe so that the bellows will go here, right? And then, I'm sorry, got upside down. And make sure you cut on the right end, because this one has the mark on it for the alignment. So I had it upside down, so it's good that I stopped. I was looking at it finally there for a minute. Anyway, so I'll have an opportunity to cut from this end, and I should probably mark that as soon as I can, where the bellows is, and then play with this length. Anyway, thanks for walking through that with me. And yeah, we'll start right now. I'll get this tacked, and we'll move over to the truck and start measuring the turbo. This should be fun. Alright, so this is where the OCD kind of kicks in. So I got a level across. I've leveled it. I've spaced the distance back on top of the hot section, and then I've got a little gap on this side since that turbo is up a little bit higher, so I went ahead and gapped it right there. And then I took a measurement off a known point from this bolt to the center line of the turbo right here on the hot side, which is about 1 foot. And I did the exact same thing right here. So I measured from there, and this little mark right there is 1 foot. So I need to place the turbo hot section right here, and then I need to work the angle to make sure that it's reasonably the same, and then make sure it actually fits behind the radiator core. So I've got to figure out what this angle is. I'm gonna guess on this probably a little bit, and we'll see how close it gets. You can kind of see that it's off maybe like 30 degrees from center, if I had to guess. So this side, I'm gonna say, something like this. I could probably take another center line measurement from right here and know that it's basically, in the middle of this horn. And if I went to about here, again, I think that will work. So basically this distance here, and then straight down. So that's it. That's the mad genius behind getting it to look right. We'll see if it actually works and how many times I have to cut this. Next is try to figure out how to, I'm going to mount to the same spot here. I don't have a nice hole here already pre-positioned. I had to already slice this one piece off because it was actually in the way from the pipe coming in. But yeah, I'm going to have to probably drill and tap this for a bolt, and then run a piece of stainless plate out to here. But I need to figure out how to hold the turbo, hold the metal, and then mark it all at the same time. Might need a call for reinforcements. So stay tuned. Going to try and capture all of this as we go. Stand by. Okay, so for the time being, I have separated the hot section from the turbo. Easier to lift up one-handed and get the fitment done now that I've got a measuring point. So this should go, right around there, pointed towards that. So the goal right now I'm trying to do is put this pipe in a position where I could build this bracket from, but I can't hold it all. I'm just not strong enough to hold 3 pieces at once. So I know it's going to have to be something like that. So let me see if I can't build off of that. So we'll try doing it this way, otherwise gonna have to call for reinforcements. Hopefully the wife has worked out today. Stand by. Alright, well, one bad thing, or 2 bad things, having a big truck in a small garage, and torrential downpour means that I had to kind of stop and close the door, which means I couldn't show you exactly what ended up happening, and the light is horrible right now. But I have, I think, correctly mounted this turbo using just the hot end side. I've got a little bit of a contraption going on here. I've got this piece of steel from another project that I'll probably end up just screwing into here, and then well, I've got to put the tire on, see if that's even going to work, but maybe I'll put it on the inboard side. But I need this to stabilize this bracket because this piece of aluminum on this side is ultra flimsy. Anyway, and I missed the height by 2 washers, which will make part, I don't know, to my finger, get in here, these 2 washers right here to get the height exactly right with the angle. I will probably make those one with this piece of steel, and then looking at this plate here, I may change the direction of that mount, like I said, mount it on the inside, and then go at a triangulated angle here to give this a little bit more strength. Since this piece of this is aluminum, that's aluminum, and it's real flimsy right here. Maybe I can just triangulate a piece of steel in here, but this is super flimsy as well. Ultimately, I think we should use this as a support, and then triangulate the mount, the steel mount, and then again I will mount it to this tube here, little piece here, probably on this side. And now all we're left with is I've got to get this header in a good spot, but to resolve this bend here, again, I'll probably cut this up a little bit further. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see, just to get the bellows in. Probably bring it up a little bit, and then make the turn. I'll shorten this up quite a bit to make the turn easier, and then put a V-band in there. But for the most part, and again, sorry for the bad lighting, but we're a torrential downpour here, just like the post office will work through sleet and rain. But there's the angle. I'll get some better pictures in another video, maybe after this passes. On this side, maybe you can see kind of all spot welded in there. But yep, I think that will work. Man, that rain is really coming down. I used my level here just to make sure, that the hot sides touched at exactly the same height they do. Nice to have a really long level. And the angle, like I said, pointing towards the rear cylinder here, and this one's pointing a little bit more aggressive, but maybe I can tweak this one just slightly the other way to make up for it. But ultimately, I'm not sure anybody except for all the subscribers, anybody who comes on YouTube will know, which is basically everybody. But you can rib at me at SEMA. Anyway, there it is, sitting there, getting ever so close. I've got that header to work through, and I'll work through triangulating this. But after, I don't know what this is, but check that out. It was just supposed to be a slight chance of rain, and that's buckets. I'm about done with that. Welcome to Alabama. Alright, so that's enough for tonight. I'm going to go get the Noah's Ark ready. It doesn't have turbos, it'll float fine. Anyway, take care folks, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.